Hey, welcome back to our discussion on game theory. In this video, we will discuss how to construct the normal form of the game. We need the normal form in order to analyze games. The normal form is a table that summarizes the player strategies, and the payoffs. So to give an example, let's construct the normal form of the rock, paper, scissors game. Now we will give 1 point if the player wins, and we will give -1 if the player loses. In case of ties, we will give each player 0. Now in the ordered pair AB, we will use the first number as the payoff of player 1 or the row player, and we will use the second number as the payoff of player 2, which is also the column player. So let's put player 1 as the row player, and we list the strategies of player 1, which are rock, paper, and scissors. Now for each strategy of the row player, we will allocate a row. So one row for rock, one row for paper, and one row for scissors. Okay, next, we write the name of the column player. Let's use player 2. The column player has strategies rock, paper, and scissors. Corresponding to each strategy of the column player, we put a column. One column for rock, one column for paper, and one column for scissors. If player 1 chooses rock and player 2 chooses rock, we get 0, 0. If player 1 chooses rock and player 2 chooses paper, you have -1, 1. If player 1 chooses rock and player 2 chooses scissors, you have 1, -1. And you do this for all possible combinations of strategies of the row player and the column player. Now, in our discussion, if the player is affected positively, we will use positive numbers. On the other hand, if a player is affected negatively, we will use negative numbers. So this is the normal form of the rock, paper, scissors game. Now let's try to construct the normal form of the prisoner's dilemma game. Recall that for the prisoner's dilemma, if one confessed, then the person who confessed will go to jail for 1 year, and the person who did not confess will go to jail for 25 years. If none of them confessed, then each will go to jail for 3 years. If both of them confessed, then each will go to jail for 10 years. So since the effect is negative, we will use negative numbers for the out payoffs of each player. So let's construct the normal form of the prisoner's dilemma game. Now for the role player, okay, we will use the name prisoner A. Strategies of prisoner A are confess and remain silent. Okay, then we write the name of the column player. Let's use prisoner B. The strategies of the column player are confess and remain silent. Now, if prisoner A confessed and prisoner B confessed, then each will go to jail for 10 years. So you have -10, comma, -10. If if the role player confess and the column player remain silent, you have -1, -25. If the role player remains silent, And the column player confess is just the other way around. You have negative 25 comma negative 1. And then finally, if both of them remain silent, you have negative 3 comma negative 3. So this completes the normal form of the prisoner's dilemma game. Let's try another example. So this one is about two companies that share a market. So two companies sharing a market where they make 50 million each. They need to decide whether they will advertise or not. Advertising costs 20 million but captures 30 million in revenues provided that the competitor does not advertise. Now let's construct the normal form of this game. So to simplify our normal form, we will use A for advertise and we will use N for not advertise. If both companies did not advertise, then each company will get 50 million. There is no decrease in revenue since they did not pay for advertisement, and there is no capture of the market share. So for the normal form, corresponding to the cell and N, we will have 50 million, comma 50 million. Next, if company 1 advertises but company 2 does not, then company 2 will lose 30 million from the usual 50 million, while company 1 spends 20 million for advertisement and captures 30 million from the competitor's share. So this means company 2 loses 30 million from the usual 50 million. So this means that company 2 will only get 20 million. On the other hand, company 1 will spend 20 million but will capture 30 million from the competitor's share. So company 1 will get 50 million minus 20 million plus 30 million, and that's a total of 60 million. So this means that if company 1 advertises and company 2 does not advertise, this cell will be 60-20. Now for the other way around, if company 1 does not advertise and company 2 advertises, you will get 20-60. And then finally, if both companies advertise, then each company pays advertising costs of 20 million, but there is no capture of competitors' market share. So this means from the usual 50, each company will have 50 minus 20. So this means that each company will only get 30 million. So to complete the normal form, the last cell will be 30-30. So this completes the normal form of the game businesses competing in a market. Now as an exercise, I want you to construct the normal form of this game. So let's read the game. Anna and Belle have a lot of friends in common, but the two of them are not on speaking terms. Both want to invite their friends to a get together this weekend. The one who schedules it on a Saturday gets a payoff of 5, while the person who schedules it on a Sunday gets a payoff of 4. The worst case scenario happens when both set the get together on the same day. This has a payoff of negative 10. Now express the scenario in normal form. So the numbers 5, 4, and negative 10, we can think of this as satisfaction or happiness level. The person who schedules it on a Saturday has more happiness level compared to the person who schedules it on a Sunday. But if they schedule the events on the same day, they will get a satisfaction level of -10. So I want you to construct the normal form of this game by following this guideline. So you put 1 for the payoff if Anna schedules it on a Saturday and Belle schedules it also on a Saturday. Number 2, if Anna schedules it on a Saturday but Belle schedules it on a Sunday. Number 3, if Anna schedules it on a Sunday while Belle schedules it on a Saturday. And then finally, number 4, if both Anna and Belle schedule the events on a Sunday. So this ends the video about constructing the normal form of the game. For the next video, we will analyze the games based on the normal form.